don't rely on anyone because they may let you down. Do you think that's coming from a place of them being hurt and being let down or disappointed by their partner? So they're basically forewarning their offspring or their seeds to just make sure that you have your own so you won't be, um, I'll just say, butt out. Just like when we used to look at sitcoms a long time ago and you would hear little phrases, keep this dime with you just in case. It to me, it's always seemed like that there was a connotation there of just in case. Like there was almost an expectation that the man was going to mess up.
Mm,
Yes, no, maybe. I mean, I'm just looking at it from my lens and a lot of the things that I actually saw and heard. And as I said, um, some men have been known to go to the store and never show up. That can have a really damaging effect on children, especially I would say the female children.
mm. Well, let's put it this way. You know, I would say if I was you know, back in the times when a lot of these things got broken down, I would probably have said this thing shouldn't be um done in the first place because family wealth and things like that. I know people that I went to school with, and they parents basically paid tuition, made sure they. I know one guy still doesn't have for his son and daughter in a house that he's renting out, but he after his tenants left, he gave them the houses. House already paid for. So a lot of things back then were done that way. I do understand, but I think people have gave up. People used to leave legacies for their children. So now that I guess that generation did not leave things, I think that's why that's said. In this day and time, you probably want to have a dime in your pocket. That go for either side. That's not a one thing type thing. You got some men relying on women and women relying on men. I mean, as far as for financial. So don't get me wrong. I know just like they say, women. I know guys that stay at women houses too, and the woman paying the bills. So this thing is like a conundrum of sorts here. You can't really, you know, you can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. And you just made a very important point there. And I want to make sure that I enter this delicately because there are people in those situations. Men who, as you say, live with women, or women are the breadwinners, basically taking care of them. Your thoughts on that? And if the woman is okay with that, is that a societal problem?
What, okay with being a breadwinner?
No, if the woman is okay with a man, I'm just going to say being a kept man, I'll use that. And if she's okay with it, who are we to judge that? Even though we're talking about knowing our roles.
I mean, well, I that's an interesting one. I think about it this way: the man, the brothers gonna get on the man more than the woman on that thing. A lot of people get mad, upset with the man for doing that. We might have to take him to task on that. So I mean, we look at the societal problem. We looking at him now.
Yes, but as I said, if the woman is okay with that, if she's okay with it, then who are we to question that? Which brings us right back to this gerbil wheel. We talk about understanding roles and relinquishing power. Is that just word salad? Because there is a population of households that are like that, where it is the woman going out and taking care of many things. Now, I'm sure that there are men that do some things around the house, but as it relates to the traditional roles, if you will, does that cancel out what the masculine role should be? Or is it that particular household lives by a different dynamic?
I think the that household might be a different dynamic. Now, on the thing you said, who are we to judge it? Uh it's part of life. You damn you do, damn you don't on that one, right? But I'm gonna say this. I think the woman, a lot of her friends can get on her for doing it, you know, unless you could keep something to keep you warm at night, as they say, right? That's how they look at it. Possible.
I mean, these things are true. They're absolutely true. I mean, and we've seen it, we've heard about it. There actually have been shows on TV about this. So that's why I question sometimes in certain spaces where we have these type of conversations, and it's, I'm not going to say pushed, but it's thought, it's revered that, well, the man should be at the lead. And again, I am not disputing that whatsoever, but if you add that in, where the role is obviously reversed because the woman is the breadwinner, or the woman's going out and doing things that traditionally it was expected that the man would do or should do.
I mean, do you think that on that accord, and you talk about thinking what people should do and would do, I look at it, if these things you talking about relationship, this stuff need to be established from the beginning, so don't let them get confused. Because you tell what your objectives are in the beginning, you might not have it happen. Because some women gonna tell you, "Hell no, I ain't doing that. I've been doing it by myself long enough. I ain't doing nothing like that." And some women say, "Let's see what you got. Let's see if you really about what you say." So that's how it goes.
And that's another good point. Women who have been independent for a very long time, or they were in a long term relationship and they've pretty much have become accustomed to doing everything on their own, and then they get into a relationship and they're expected to understand their roles. And then there becomes a problem because she may not be ready or perhaps willing to give over everything after she's been doing everything for herself and by herself. Is that going to be a growing pain, a learning curve, or is that something that just cannot happen in your perspective?
Learning curve. Like I said, it depends. I mean, on that one, that's a lot of things in there. Learning curve. I mean, I say what should have been taught should have been taught. Of course, but that's either here or there. However, I can say more of it could be an adjustment period. Because like I said, some of them will tell you, no, I ain't doing that. Some of them say, let's see what you got. And some of them say, we can work toward that point. You got a three-headed monster here. This thing it could go left, right, or it can stay right in the middle. It can stay right there like that. And then, if it works out, you may get married. If it works for a while and then things happen in the marriage, it could be a divorce. The reason why divorce lawyers make a lot of money these days. I told you I DJed a wedding 3 years ago, and 4 years later they were divorced. No, in 2019. In 2023, they got divorced already. So these things can cause a lot of problems here.
So, are these expectations as far as what roles should be as it relates to these relationships? Are they even necessary still? Or in other words, should there even be roles?
Oh no, it got to be some roles, because if you don't, you then you get into that. It got to be getting to that fluid thing. Somebody got to do something. I mean, look, I'm pretty sure we flip this thing around and say, hey, look, tell the man you cook all the day, and tell the woman you go do the bricklaying. The women say, I ain't doing no damn bricklaying. So you got to be some roles on that, you know. I mean, you have some women out there cutting the grass or something like that, but I don't see. There have been more women doing electrician enterprises and CDL trucking as a lady. I have seen that.
No, I don't think they're going to do like too much, but in certain professions, yes, I have seen an influx in that as well, King BJ. So that being a part of the dynamic.
I'm gonna give you a good example.
Okay.
This happened about 10, 11 years ago. So this might sound a little it ain't. I ain't gonna say it's vulgar, but you'll get what I'm saying, right? It's like this. So, guy to guy, to his union job that I was working, it was at a dairy. And this lady, she used to work upstairs with these two guys. They used to be working in like grain silos and things like that, putting milk, juice, whatever. So one day the woman, she's like, I'm on my time of the month or whatever. She asked him to lift the bags up. He said, hold on. He told her straight up, you signed the job, pulled out the job description. He said, hey, look, this job say you got to be able to lift 50 pounds. You got to be able to do this. You got to do this. He told her, if you on Mother Nature, you need to go bid on another position. She's like, oh my God, why you say that to me? She went and told the manager. He said, hey, the manager tried to tell him, hey, man, he said, look, I'm going to tell you what. He said, woman's live. He go to contract. He go to job description. She can't do it. She need to bid somewhere else. Straight up. He said, I ain't helping her touch one bag. And he meant it. And that was it. And he told the other guys, you don't help her neither. She bid to another position, and that was the end of that.
Wow. Good night, Edna. Hey there, D-Shep. Wow. And how long ago was this?
Maybe about 12, 10 years ago, maybe
10
less,
years.
maybe less. You know what's so crazy? He actually called me tonight and asked me how I've been doing because they had like a Hall of Fame high school reunion or something. So he called me tonight. Actually, it's kind of funny that I just thinking about it. But yeah, right. But yeah, he told me about it. He said, "Hey, look, we're not." He told the manager straight up, "We're not doing this." He said, "Union be a position, job position. She can't do the job. He said either she can call out one time in the month, but she not gonna do that." He said she can either pack it up on. He like so another guy who used to work with. He said I ain't helping them either. He told her straight up. He told a woman to live. So,
That's interesting. That's interesting. Like I said, I've seen many women doing jobs that traditionally you would see men doing. Um, definitely a change. And that's why when we talk about roles, again, I get it. There's the protection, of course, leadership, but can't women or aren't women leaders too?
you say aren't they leaders too?
Hmm.
And for now, when you say leaders, I obviously this guy didn't think so. So, but I would say this on that. Like I said, I've had a little friend. They say they tell the women lead the women and lead the men. See, I went to a private school, and the same things you asked me. Um, we said women lead. Women should lead like the women, and the men should lead the men. That's how we did it. You know, the women. We came in. The women wore, the blouse and skirt, and the men wore we had uniform like khakis or something like that, right? So that's when I went to private school. And I went to public school, it was completely different. You know, people wear Jordans, whatever the hell they want to wear. You know, you just wear anything, right? I mean, it was a completely different ball game, right? But when I do it on my thing, when I say I liked it like that, you know, I mean, and of course, they had some religious stuff in there, but the kids, like we learned, we had recess, right? And most of the time, maybe once in a while, we had the girls playing with the girls and the boys playing with the boys. Even though we did have tug of war one time and I fell in the mud, right? It's kind of crazy.
You remember that? That's too funny.
Yeah. We had tug of war and I fell in the mud and all that other crazy mess, right? Kickball, dodgeball, all this stuff. But that's how we had it. Women lead women, men lead men. In the days, the church society got women in the pulpit, men in the pulpit, everything in the pulpit. So it got to be some structure in them. When I see these men getting led by women in a lot of these fields, I sometimes look at the man that's in the field too. I was when I got pulled over earlier, I told you I stopped at the gas station to get you back online, right? So I stopped at a local Wawa. You got Wawa there? You got Wawa there.
We have plenty of those here. I didn't know you had them out there.
Got plenty of Wawa. Yeah, Wawa got Wawa sheets all there. They're all up and down. You got 2 sheets within 3 minutes of each other.
Do you have a Royal Farms there?
I passed the Royal Farms too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We just started getting Royal Farms though. Most of the time I only saw Royal Farms up in Baltimore and Maryland. That's where most of them at.
Mm-hmm.
But I stopped in there, and the guy who got the gas, he had black nails. haven't realized that. Right. But so sometimes when I look at the men getting led by some of these women, I look at them and say, is he zesty? Now, on the flip side, you asked a question earlier about femininity. Now, I've been seeing some wild things, lately, okay? I've been seeing women sagging pants like men used to do. I think this is the crazy thing I've ever seen, right? So I said, no, it's a little bit weird, a little bit. So I think the men got to lead because this is some real living in a. Sam Cooke said, "What a wonderful world we live in a crazy world right now."
Now, why'd you have to go exhume Sam Cooke? Let him rest.
I like that. I like that song though.
I do too. But you have a point there. But again, I have to go back to. Well, let me put it to you this way then. These roles, if you will, have been established. Well, if it's been so, I was going to say something bad, but I'm not. If these roles have been so discombobulated and turned around, who's at fault for that? Now, I know what you mentioned earlier, and I'll just say it briefly and keep it moving, but if it were by design, and I'm just saying if it were by design, once one figures out that there is or was something done or manipulated, how long does one stay in that mode before they wake up and get back to how it's supposed to be or how it was back in the day, back in my mom's era, where there were certain roles established and followed to the T. You know, they may have said things under their breath, but I believe that these roles were followed. And if you listen to that video, the entire thing is 15 minutes long. And I'm not really going to have that part of that discussion, but they did speak on, and we spoke about this on one of our videos, about the introduction of, I'll just say, certain programs and how with certain programs the man couldn't be in the home. Do you think that has a large part to do with this issue with roles now, or is it something a lot deeper? And I'll go on mute.
Yeah, that's one of the main issues. That's one of the main issues. I mean, that's what it was designed to do. It was designed to create social. No. Let me take that back. Pseudo independence. You know why I say that?
I have an idea, but you can go ahead and give your idea.
Because technically, now watch this. This is funny. This pseudo independence actually ties into the capitalist state. Because think about it. Dang, this is really deep, though, what I'm about to go into on this. Okay. So women come out and say they don't need men, but like, I don't know, let's say you got a HVAC company, a plumbing company. Most of the time, you know, men come in the house to work on your cable, electricity, so et cetera, et cetera. You might have women sometimes, right? Men work on the cars. That was able to take it out of an independent person like me hands and you go to Firestone, Mercedes, these companies, these companies, right? So it was able to, in the sense, instead of the woman having a guy that's handy, they call it a handyman or somebody that can help you in the neighborhood fix your car or whatever, you got to go to these expensive shops and probably spend like $45 for something that a guy might do for 25, I don't know, maybe $100. And if he like you enough, and if he dating you, he might do it for free. So that actually was a big time money maker too. Cause a lot of these companies thrive off women, even car dealers. I mean, you go to the car dealership, look, man, you look good in this car, girl. I mean, you look good. This house, you realtor. This house suits you, and you know, somebody could tell the woman, hey, you getting run. That's why you tell women when they go to buy something of that stature, house, car, take a man with you to understand the game, because you may not understand it, and you may get sucked into a bad deal.
I agree with that 100%. My cousin and I've asked her several times to consider to take her vehicle, which is a 2015 Toyota, to other mechanic. Stop taking it to the dealer because they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. She called whining about paying $900 for 4 tires. And I said, you paid $900 for 4 tires for that car? Are you crazy? She said, well, that was the presidential deal. I said, but you're not the president. I said, you know what? They see you coming every time she has something wrong with that car, she takes it to the dealer and she spends almost $1,000 each and every time. They did it when she had, I don't know if it was the brake shoes or pads, but she was like, do you know how much they charge me? And I just shook my head because I know a lot of people that know how to do that and they've done that for my vehicle. There's no way in the world I would pay that much for something like that. That's crazy. But you're absolutely right. I agree with you on that.
I look at it like this also. You got a lot of issues there. So here's what it is. And people have to like really look at them things, because I don't look at the independence all as a the social. You gotta look at it as a what they call it, a financial issue and a economic thing too, because that's where I think that people really got suckered in. Because like I was just mentioning to you, like you talked about the tires, right?
Yes.
I know this might sound kind of weird, and a lot of people don't like to do it, but I got a friend of mine. He knows me. He knows me from DJ and everything else. He owns a tire shop. When he called me. He said, "Bernard, I said, look, I need some tires, man." And he has a used tire shop. He has old and new tires. I come down there. He said, "Look, man, you helped me out so much." He said, "Look, I give you 4 brand new tires for $250 or something like that." Right? I said, "Cool." So also, it's also good to know people, because when you go to these car dealers, let's be real. Unless you know somebody in these car dealerships, you ain't getting nothing. You're like, I told the guy, if the interest over 1%, I'm not buying the car. He was like, all right, let me go talk to my manager, man. Oh yeah, we get you just 1% interest now. 1%. That's it. No more than 1%. So I was able to, get him. So that's how you do it. Sometimes you just have to know how to negotiate. And that's one thing I would say a lot of men will negotiate these things out. I would say that. So it is what it is.
You have men, I'm sorry, but you have women that can do the same too. I'm not going to say as many as men, but you have some women who are pretty savvy and understand some of these games. Like I said, I know about the tires, and the next thing they'll say, well, we have to tack on this for balancing, and then we'll have to tack on this to discard the old ones. By the time they finish tacking on everything, you're looking at perhaps another $100 if you allow them to play with you like that.
Mm. You got a point there. That's a good point. I do think that people can learn from what you said. Did you do have women? When you got women, you got women. Now this is very funny. Now you got women sales women too. Now, but you know something? I'm trying to look and think. How many women have I seen working in the car shop? I mean, not as far as like receptionists. I'm talking about. I don't. You know, I never. When I went to go buy a car, I don't think I ever had a woman trying to sell me a car. I gotta go look at this again. I've had women realtors, but I don't remember having a woman trying to sell me a car.
Oh my goodness, I've seen not a lot though, King BJ, to be honest, but I've seen a few women saleswomen.
Yeah, I just can't remember. I mean, you know, I can't remember. But maybe it was though. I don't know. I have to go back and look. I just don't remember it happening. But it could have been though. I do see them working a reception desk and signing me in when I go to Richmond Ford, but I don't really see them out there selling on the sales room floor. So that's interesting. I have to look more into that.
Oh, and Maryland, you will see quite a few. So by that thought, or that sentiment that you just shared, is that something? Is that a position that you think only men should have? Because women can be savvy, as I said. Women can be extremely convincing, and then if you add the appeal, and how some of you all get.
Well, that's why they do it.
Absolutely.
That's the big sales pitch. And then now, well, I can put it this way. Also, it's a big sales pitch for the guys working there. Because guys like attractive women on the job. Yeah. Now, I will say this on a lot of occasions that, I mean, depending on what the job is, but some of those them customer facing positions, they do try to have certain women have certain looks about themselves, which is kind of interesting as well. Just putting that out there.
Yes, and I think that's an age old that's just been around for a long time, and I think up until recently it was like that, but now it's deviated away a little bit, not a lot, but you're right that there were certain, I'll just say, expectations when it came to certain positions, especially those positions in the public eye. And to be honest, there, if you want to speak about roles when it comes to certain positions in the public eye or ear, it normally you would see majority of women, but you see many men in these roles now. A lot, as a matter of fact, of men in these roles now.
Hmm. You got a point there.
So when we're talking about knowing your role, as you mentioned about the economic and financial aspect, how much of that is a motivating factor in these knowing your role? Because if you want to look at it, to me, in the grand scheme of things, I think it all, and this is just my opinion, and you can disagree, and you probably will, but I think it all comes down to power.
Hmm. Well,
Yes, no, maybe.
who? Well, in that case, who's got the power? Is the question. That's the question I need to ask. Who got the power there? Um, I would say this. I guess power is you got to earn power. I guess so because a lot of women say these days that they want to get out of there. What they call it, masculine energy, and be feminine or something. That's what they say. Right.
But
Uh,
we have a little bit of both. All of us have a little bit of both. But you made a good point, who has the power. So let me throw this to you. If we're going to believe that whoever is bringing in the most and providing the most, now we already know there's certain things that women just can't do. We also know that there's things that men cannot do. But as far as it relates to the money, the prestige, if the woman is the one doing that, can the man still be in a leadership role in the home?
if the woman is the breadwinner, basically what you're saying, right?
If the woman is the breadwinner, and if she's also the one that has the prestige, is the man still the lead in the home? Or does that dynamic change everything?
Uh,
Because you can have a woman who, and I've seen some of these things, and it's been horrible because women can get egos too. Well, I'm making this, I'm doing this. Um, we're in here because of me. And that's how things, in my opinion, can get really ugly. And if she gets angry enough or vindictive enough, she can basically put you out. So that's why I said, to me, it could, hey there, Dinesh, how are you? Good morning. I think it all comes down to power.
hmm. Well, I mean, I've heard a situation where the woman is the breadwinner and the man still is leading the house. I've heard a situation where the woman is the breadwinner and the man still pay all the bills. So, I mean, that's completely up to that couple, I guess.
That's interesting.
I've seen it happen. I've heard of it happening. Matter of fact, one of my buddies, his wife, I think she worked for like Capital One or something. He worked. I forgot where he worked at, but I know she worked at Capital One. It was like in the analytics department. She made more than he did, but he said that he didn't care about them. He said when he met her, she was making that kind of money, and he said he was always paying the bill at home anyway, so he did it anyway. So it's what it is.
Well, if you truly love someone, does it does it even matter? You have some that say yes, and then you'll have others that say no. But if you truly love that person, should it really matter? Should these roles really be an issue?
Mm-hmm. As far as breadwinner or leadership role, that's what we're talking.
Both. I mean, can it be? Well, I understand what you're saying as far as, well, there has to be some type of order. And I believe you have to have that in all walks of life. But as far as these relationships go, and like I said, these conversations and these particular spaces, if you truly, truly, truly love that person, can't you have a dual role perhaps? Or it still has to go to one person, or it should be on the onus of one person to have that quote unquote leadership role in the home.
Mm. Well, I'm gonna say this: the breadwinner thing, I look at like that could matter, but I don't think that's the or as far as leadership role, I do think so. I do think it matters for man because let's say somebody try to rob the house. You think the man getting up to save the house of the woman? I mean, the man's
Man, definitely.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there you go. Well, I mean, you'd be surprised that some of these men wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. So, yeah. Right. So, just want to say on that some of these men wouldn't bust a grape in a fruit fight. And that's the way it goes. That's just the way it is. I will say this though. I will give them credit to the men that will. But me, as I've done, since we have so many, single women out here and women that have children or divorced or whatever, I have met some women and I have actually, helped them. And I said, well, you can live by yourself. You need to be trained. Take them to the gun range. You go shoot me and things like that. So, I mean, life has its benefits and it has its curses. That's how I look at it. I think that we have to find people that agree with the roles, of course, but if you know somebody and you can train them to protect themselves and know the bare necessities, some things could be better explained and well thought out as well. But you just have to know how to deal with it. I would say that in today's day and time, you better have the right people in your circle to protect you and be around you. Because if you don't, you could be in for some bad outcomes. But I do think that the leadership role of men protecting and providing must be established. As far as the breadwinner thing, I didn't think that much. I just wanted to bring this up to you. Yeah, I saw it at Cyber earlier. Cause like I told you, the little pullover thing, it kind of got me a little off the rip there. I'm like, dang, this is crazy. I hadn't had this happen in years, right? But like I said, he did let me go because I had the ticket. I took the tickets was like he said, he said my Christmas gift to you, this ticket is like $500. I get this ticket, so I'm gonna let you roll today, right? So I've been on move all day. I gotta move out one more time. I told you I come up about 2 hours.
Yes.
And so I just want to say this has been another interesting conversation. And it's been interesting. And I just, like I said, I'm glad that you brought me back on again. And keep on having these conversations. They're good. Shout out to Miss, what's her name? Cinda Williams. Yeah, shout out to her. for her you know, the Tuesday. That's what day it was. And
Yes. We'll
and
be
young,
back again in December. Not sure of the date yet because, of course, many people are traveling and they have plans. So once it's decided, I'll put everything out. But yeah, that was a really good conversation. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a great deal. So yes, we plan to have more of these conversations because they need to be had. I really believe that they do to get an understanding. Uh, yeah, I'll just leave it like that. And I do agree with you that yes, there should be something established in beginning. But with that being said, also again, it's just my opinion. We're living in different times now. Should that change anything? Probably not, but I see where it has for many people. So we'll see
yeah.
how it goes.
Well, I just want you to take your time. Be safe. It's cold tonight. Actually, it's 29 degrees here, so I don't know what it is.
28 here and clear. I don't care how
Yeah.
clear it is, but it's cold.
And my buddy said he's gonna be down there tomorrow in Baltimore at the game, Baltimore, Philadelphia. I told him, look, man, I don't usually go
Look,
to a game past November or October. If I do go, which is even rare, but I said I would not be sitting out there for no 3 hours no damn football game. Sorry.
I hope he bundles up.
So big time Baltimore Ravens fan, so he going to support it. Or he might be like the Eagles. I mean, okay. But it doesn't matter. He's going to the game. But he might. That's a game a lot of people want to see. Is at 4:25. But I told him I ain't sitting out there no cold. Man. That's a count. But with that being said,
All
I'll
right.
leave. But I thank you for bringing me on and just take your time.
Absolutely. You be careful out there now.
Yes, ma'am. Take your time.
Okay. All right. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Thank you. All right, everyone. That was King BJ again, and another edition of the Samuels Effect. Understanding our roles. For those that may catch the replay, if you have any comments, please be sure to leave them. Until next time, everyone, please be safe, be well, be healthy, and try to stay warm because, as you said, it's getting quite cold out there. Again, thank you for tuning in, and bye bye for